Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we have an outstanding guest, an outstanding program this afternoon. We're talking with Marchall Peel. She's a retired teacher in Lake County. As a matter of fact, 22 years in the Zion School District, 10 years in the Waukegan School District, and 8 years as a full-time sub at the North Chicago Community High School. Nearly 40 years in education. We're going to be talking about the education there, and also she's an author. It's called the Good Southern Prose and Poetry from the Dark Days. We're going to be talking about that. So we have an outstanding program. Good morning, Mrs. Peel.
Good morning.
We're happy that you've taken literally time from your very busy schedule to be with us on Community Forum. And as I mentioned before, you are a person that Lake County should know. I want you, first of all, to tell our listening audience a little bit about your personal and professional background.
My personal background, I'm the oldest of 11 children.
Wow.
And I had an interest to go into education because I wanted to become a role model for the rest of the family and friends in the community.
Okay.
So a few years ago, I entered Alcorn State University in Lawman, Mississippi. Mm-hmm. There I received a Bachelor of Science degree in business and English education. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And my first job was here at Neal Junior High School in 1966-67.
Okay.
I taught 6th grade self-contained. My second job was Spalding South on Grand Avenue, which is currently North State Bank. Mm-hmm. But at that time, it was a school. I taught 6th grade also. Mm-hmm. That year, 67 and 68. Mm-hmm. After that, I went to Central Junior High in Zion.
Okay.
1969, and I retired from there in 1990.
Okay.
After that, I came to Waukegan, and I taught full-time 10 years, mm-hmm. and I subbed about 6 years. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So altogether, I have about 45 years in education.
Wow.
And currently, I'm a substitute at North Chicago High School, subbing 9th through 12th.
Wow.
Currently.
Well, tell us about education then. How does education differ then than now? Now, I know John Dewey, the great philosopher, stated that if you teach today the same way you taught yesterday, you rob our children of tomorrow. You agree with that? Agree with John Dewey?
I somewhat disagree with him on that.
There's so many changes. Okay, tell us your philosophy.
I like to, now, one philosophy Mr. Dewey said, you learn by doing.
Okay. Right.
Experience is the best teacher.
Okay.
And I have learned from experience that you have to develop your own learning skills in order to reach everyone in your class because they're on different levels.
Right.
And you have to study the student just like they study the teacher. We have to study them in order to reach them. See, when I started teaching, we didn't have 3 or 4 different groups of special education. All of us were grouped together.
Okay.
And some of us were called slow learners, average learners, advanced learners.
Okay.
Now, today, we have all the different kind of technology, which is great, because most of our kids now from 3rd grade, they can text.
Okay.
They can type, and they know parts of speech, The third graders now, I think, is a little advanced in education than they were years ago.
Exactly.
Now, some of the behavior and discipline problems, you want me to talk about that?
Well, you may mention, yes.
I think,
I assume that they were more under control then than they are now, but I wonder why.
I think it was that we, as young people, a few years ago, had more respect for our elders than some of our young people now. Because you take now, I think about maybe 2/3 of our students are controlled by single parent.
Okay.
Maybe 1/3 are both parents. And, a lot of divorce rate is getting higher and everything. And that a lot of time affect our children.
Okay.
I think so. But we'll get it together, though.
Some may disagree with you there too, because sometimes in a lot of cases where you have both parents, there may be problems between the two parents, and that would have some effect on the children too. So I'm saying, just because there's a two-parent family, there's no guarantee that that child's going to come out much better than the single parent.
Oh, I agree with you too. That's a problem. But in coming up as a parent, I could have a disagreement with my companion, but I wouldn't put him down before my children. I don't care how much I disagree with him.
Exactly.
And I felt like this: what used to running from husband to husband, wife to wife, when you can settle down and control yourself with the one you have?
Well, tell us about this. You've had a great, successful marriage. What hold marriages together?
Love and communicating.
Okay.
See, if you have a problem, don't hold it in. Communicate. And I don't care how bad it is. Sometimes you'll jump out the frying pan and jump in the skillet.
Okay.
And they both hot. They both will cook you.
Okay.
You just have to think about it and say, well, Lord, for the children's sake, I'm going to work this out. I think you should work it out for the children's sake. Now, that's my personal way, because I was married 45 years to the same man.
45 years?
45 years to the same man.
So you could become a great mentor and a counselor to a lot of marriages.
That's why I don't do it. I mean, there have been many adults ask me to counsel them, but I don't counsel adults. Only children at school, that's enough. Not too many, a very few.
Right. We have, you may have heard this data before, that if a child is having difficulty by third grade level, the data supports they're going to have difficulty all the way through school, and prisons are built on that data. And one of the reasons, because, and it's substantiated, that each year, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, on down up to high school, they get further behind. And by the time they get to high school, they become embarrassed, can't keep up, can't do the calculus and all the other math and other problems, and they drop out. And then they're in the community to do things that cause them to be incarcerated, and they're in prison. So that statistic there, they plan on the prisons, based on the number that on that statistic, and the child's having difficulty by third grade level. But in the South, though, you didn't have did you have the dropout problem that we have now?
Yes, but you see, I'm a victim of plantation slavery.
Okay.
And the boss man would tell my father, keep your kids at home so they can pick me a bale of cotton or chop my cotton. And see, my father would attempt to do that. And the boss man's wife, she liked me. She said, let that oldest one go to school and work the little ones. Because, and I said, and I was glad about that because I was glad.
She saw something in you.
Yes, she did. And so I got a chance. My sister, all of them worked harder on the farm than I did, even though I worked very hard when I was working.
Okay.
But they worked harder because they wanted, since I was in high school, I'm 5 years older than the next sister.
Okay.
And I attended high school of 4 years. But I didn't really go to school faithfully until after Christmas, from September to January, but I never failed a grade.
Okay.
I learned how to decode my words early.
Okay. Speaking of that, I'm trying to analyze why there was such a gap between the Caucasian and the black, because if you start a person on the 1 yard line, start you on the 1 line yard and start the Caucasian on the 50-yard line and start the race, who's going to win the race? The person on the 50-yard line, right? Got less distance to run. But did your description of slavery, it was just for capitalism, I guess, right?
I really don't know what you call the kind I have. I call it plantation because the boss man was always in control.
Okay.
Right. And they called my father, since he was kind of humble and he had a good spirit and a quiet man.
Okay.
They called him the lover, the end lover of the Caucasian people.
Oh.
That's what he was criticized by. And they called us ignorant for working so hard for somebody else. And we didn't have anything.
That's right.
At the end of the year, instead of coming out having money for Christmas, we came out $200 and $300 banners due to the boss man.
Banners due after all the work?
All that hard work.
Wow. And that was until you left, until you got old enough to leave, I guess, right?
I worked hard up until 61.
Wow. And see, this is why I'm so active in forums. I have, whether it's community forum or whether it's health disparities among minorities or whatever, trying to educate everyone about, and they really cannot understand unless you wore the shoes that I wore. You cannot understand.
You can't understand.
Now, my wife is from Natchez, Mississippi, so she's down near Lorman. I was born I was born in Lexington, right near Durant and Greenwood and all in that area there, So it got too hot for me. I left when I was 2 years old. No, I was 8 months. I'm sorry, 8 months. My father left the home when I was 2 years old.
Okay.
But I was 8 months. It got too hot for me. No, but I was raised in East St. Louis. But I used to go down every summer, and I used to watch people picking cotton, milking cows, and so forth on there. And I say, now this is not a way to treat people. And we still having problems in 2015 when you see the problem in Chicago where the young man was shot 16 times.
Oh, yes.
With no weapon and all, So it's something about, and I just can't figure it out now myself. What about in biblical times now? You had dark race, I should say dark race, so we wouldn't say Africans then, the dark race was man was made from dust, the dirt of dust, right? Man, God made.
Yes.
So what color is dust? Dust is black, right?
Yes.
So how did we didn't have this problem until, I guess, in this country, when this country was formed, but otherwise other countries don't have this problem that we have now. But anyway, you came from the dust, and after 45 years, you've been educating people. And that's when I asked the question about what's the difference between now and then among our children. We have such a problem with children, and you base it on single family and broken homes, then, right?
I think a lot of times our children, they don't even get the attention, because sometimes I've had students to walk in my classroom and they needed, before I could tell them that adjectives modify nouns and pronouns, Miss Peel, I need to talk to you. My heart is hurting. Well, I didn't sleep at all last night, There was too much chaos in the family. And I said, oh. And so I would have to hurry up and pass the assignment out, teacher and counsel all at the same time. Come on over here, sweetheart. I said, you can talk to Miss Peel, because just consider me your teacher and your mother. And so I would try to solve the problem on one hand and teach on the other one. So I think we have the most difficult job of anyone in America.
But staying with the program for 45 years, staying in education 45 years, you must have had some major challenges or something to really encourage you to stay there and not go to another field.
Oh, yes, I did. I think I'm a born teacher and writer. I feel that I'm a born teacher and writer. And I love my church. I like teaching in the church, and I just love the kids. Because I feel like now, if you would have an evaluation and check out things, that I may be one of the most influential teachers in Lake County. I mean, I don't have any awards or anything. People just don't come up and give me awards. But I mean, people that I have helped. I produce lawyers. I produce doctors. I even taught Dr. Brian Colbert in 1970. I was his teacher. He lived at my mother's house. So it was like I brought him up. Okay, we have another teacher in the district. Her name was Humphreys then. And now she has her principal license. She's some kind of counselor at North School. And at every church in Lake County, when I go there, people, Miss Peel. So I'm really known. And a lot of people come up to me, you're the reason that you was our only black hope, Miss Peel, and you're the reason I received my degrees.
Wow. That is fantastic.
So, I mean, that just gives me peace. That's the reason I'm not that old.
Right. Well, look here. What piqued your interest in becoming an author? This really got my attention here. Good Southern prose and poetry from the dark days. You want to tell us what inspired you to write?
Being a product from Southern Mississippi. Growing up, I was called the good little colored girl. Now, I don't know why I became a teacher, because I was so quiet in school. When I graduated from high school, they said I was the quietest girl in the senior class. But all the time, I wanted to become a teacher. And I even taught Dr. Pfeiffer in 1968 at Zion Benton High School. It was called Pierce Campbell.
And she's
Dr. Pfeiffer.
She's an evangelist now.
Oh, she's an evangelist. She's an overseer over 3 churches.
Oh my goodness! In Tennessee, was it?
In Tennessee, she's
Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky. She's a jail counselor.
And you taught her.
I taught her.
Fantastic. That is fantastic. Yeah. And you probably have so many others, that it makes you feel life is worthwhile for you.
Even my sister, Betty, I helped her to become, I would cook with her at home. I can't cook as good as Betty now.
Okay, okay.
But I would cook with her at home that inspired her to become an entrepreneur of a chain of restaurants. I encouraged her, but now she developed her own marketing plan, and now she's helping me develop a marketing plan.
That's your sister. So we go to Louisville. No, what is it? Is that Louisville? No. Pfeiffer is in Louisville, Kentucky.
Right.
But Betty.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. So we go to Memphis, Tennessee. Then we'll be sure to go by. What's the name of the restaurant?
Southern Hands.
Southern Hands.
Owned by the Baskins.
Oh yes. Okay. Right. Yeah, I know the Baskin. The pastor. He was in Lake County here for quite some time, but he's in Tennessee now.
He's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
You're talking about Earl?
Earl.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
It's a small world.
It sure is.
Right. Well, I want to tell about the dark days, and you mentioned about dark days for dark people, and that's because they were from had the overseer over them all the time. You know, and you describe dark days on the farm. That was the hard-working blacks. In other words, there was nothing else for them to do but work hard, right?
That's right.
There's no other employment. That was the employment. Oh man. So you mentioned about slavery is back. What do you mean by slavery is back?
By a popular demand, and it's too complicated for us to understand, but it's back all right.
Slavery.
Really it never left, but you know, it came back in a little different way. Now, when I was growing up, you could call us, you have to say the N word now, but sometimes when people say, go over there with them, I look at them.
Okay.
Because look, them is the same as the N word.
Okay.
You know,
right.
So you still saying it, but you're saying it in a little different way, which our kids cannot comprehend.
Okay, right.
You know, they can read and write, but they can't comprehend. They can't see what I see. Go over there with them.
Okay.
You know, what them?
Right. Well, they won't even call the President Barack Obama. They call him Obama.
Now that's
the President of the
disrespectful.
United States. Call him Obama.
Now I check myself on that. Now if I'm in a crowd, I may say, but I say Mr. President.
Okay.
Mr. Obama. That's an educated man. He has a job on his hand.
Right.
Some folks can't even control their own house.
And
they yet criticizing Mr. Obama.
And he's one of the rulers of the world.
Yes. I respect him highly.
He and the Pope, I guess, you know, the rulers of the world, and they don't
he even walk and talk with dignity. And he's just smart as a whip, if I may use that.
Well, what about the wife? And didn't she?
Academically, she's the smartest.
Yeah, she taught him, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She was his boss.
Yeah.
In Chicago.
Okay, right. Amazing.
Because he came from another job, and he started working with her. She had the highest position. Academically, she has the highest GPA, grade point average.
Okay. So you know the history, huh?
Some of it.
Okay. We're the good colored folks.
We were called the good colored folks because we were people that we wanted our freedom.
Okay.
But we never caused trouble. You know, just like you said, y'all go over there. I would kind of look down at the ground and look at the other kids, you know, like, oh, they ain't telling us, y'all go over there. And baby, little colored girls come in my back door.
Okay.
And everybody else. And I say, you know, Dr. Brooks, at one time I hated I was black. I got
The way
sick
you
of
were
the back
treated.
of everything.
Okay. The movie theater, you have to go in the back, go upstairs.
Everything.
You know.
And everything. The park, raggedy, broken down.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Amazing.
And so it was back with the black. But we weren't called black. We were called colored folks.
Well, one thing about it, be grateful, you have God on your side.
Yes, I do. All the time.
And if you have God on your side, he looks you up high and he looks low.
Yes, he does.
And he speaks in his word that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So you can have that too. You to look forward to. You know this. I don't know. I'm still learning. We still living in difficult times. One of the chapters, and there's no doubt. Now, maybe I can just. When you talk about difficult times, I have to share this with you. The wife and I came here, and we both had good jobs, both professional people, and we want to buy a home. We had to get the realtor to do all the transaction for us to move into a certain home, our first home. The realtor had to do it. We couldn't go to. And later on, when we went to the bank to open up our business, our own bank would not give us a loan. And that was the deal with, when you go to first Small Business Administration, they say you have to go back to get a 3 bank denials. So I told them that'd be no problem getting 3 bank denials, right? And the first one we got was from our own bank. The first one. Then we got 2 others, and then we got we had all the paperwork together and got approval, a tentative approval the same day. So you have so many educated blacks that it was illegal to teach blacks how to read and write, and I could see why now, because they have to excel. In Oklahoma, and I'll get back to your book, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they burned the whole city down. It was successful black businessmen. They burned the whole city down. You know, so it's something is wrong with that picture. Something is wrong. You mentioned that, and you're proud. You say, "I'm a Mississippi girl." You're proud to be a Mississippi girl.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Magnolia State of Mississippi. Most racist city in America. But I'm proud to be. I could go back and live there right now.
Things have changed a little bit.
Oh, they have changed greatly. But one thing I can say about Mississippi, they didn't throw a brick and hide their hand.
They let you know.
They let you know it's on its way, you know.
But one thing, of all the things that you went through, you have a section here, we just want to be free. And now we're asking not any more than anyone else.
That's true.
You want to own your own home.
Right.
You want to educate your children. And you don't care where you live next door to anyone or not. You just want to have your own home and be free. Fantastic. You a book in here about God's creation. You want to just touch on that one?
Yeah, God created all of us.
Okay.
And he created us with a vision.
Okay.
You know, and I just wanted to carry that vision out in education. And not only education, I wanted to carry it out in scripture knowledge. I wanted to be educated in scripture knowledge.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Because that's the thing that brought me where I am now, being educated in the scriptures.
Yes.
Somewhat.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's mention another area, importance of voter registration. Did you have the right to vote then when you came up?
No.
what's the, when were you? Oh, now actually in what, 1860, oh my goodness. What,
65, isn't it?
when slavery was abolished?
I think 1865.
And then the next year, Negroes made citizens, and then the next article, Negroes made voters. But why are we still having trouble in 2015 with the government standing in the way of, even we got the constitutional right to vote, hindering us from voting? In other words, we're not marching, we're not bombing the place, and all we want to do is vote the way everybody else is, and there's a block there. Why did Bush stop the voting? That's amazing.
I don't know whether I can answer that one.
We're all trying to figure that out.
I know he was politically incorrect.
Okay.
In trying to stop us, but like somebody said, it ain't no stopping us now. I think the sky is the limit. Even at my age, I'm planning on going higher.
Okay.
I retired 8 years ago, and since I retired, I was working off and on. I missed some time because the illness of my husband.
Okay.
But altogether, I have worked at the school after retirement 8 years.
You're still a regular sub.
And still a regular sub. I'm going to try to fight it a little longer, maybe a couple more years before I call it quits for good.
But you need something to keep you going.
Yes. I'm a widow. I'm alone.
And you're not going to remarry, right?
Well, I don't know if somebody want to remarry me. I think at my age it's kind of hard, isn't it?
You may find a.
But you never know what God won't send up.
That's right.
That's
right.
You just gave me an idea. I'm gonna start praying on that.
Okay. Man should not be alone.
It would be nice. It would be nice.
Right.
I
want to go back to, we got voter registration, and now what voter education. People have to be educated as a voter about the issues, and not just vote just because you like a person or you're in a family or whatever, but vote on the issues and also participate. We have so much. I think when President Reagan got elected, like 27% of the population voted. That's a very low percentage,
yes.
But in order to make this country go, we have to have all three: registration, education, and participation.
That's true.
But why is there so much apathy among voters today? I would say, why is so much apathy among participation in communities? People don't participate. They complain, but they don't participate.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Why?
They more could vote if they wanted to.
They're registered voters.
Yes,
but they don't participate. And not only that, but they don't participate in the cities, the state, in activities. And you have to have participation. Otherwise, complaining is not going to do any good at all.
No, it's not.
But why do you think there's so much apathy? I tell you what, the people tell me they're going to do what they want to do anyway. And you know what? I cannot deny that, because it's happening right now in the different cities, in our country. We have elected officials doing what they want to do, not what the people want.
That's true.
And that's when we have lack of. I guess I answered my own question now.
That's good.
Why we have the lack of participation.
Right.
But we need that to have a, like in the city of North Chicago, we had about 70% renter-occupied, apartments and so forth. So 70%, well, those 70% we're not interested in participating in what goes
Oh,
on.
I see.
Because the owners of the building is the one that pay the taxes and this type of thing, you know. Well, I wonder why is there such a lack of parental participation in the schools, and you see this in the PTA and the PTOs and so forth. Why is there such a lack of parental participation? Maybe if you had more of that, you'd have more students being more successful in school. Have you ever thought about that?
Yes, I was at I think it was at Yeager Elementary School, and we had a father-son, father-daughter participation during the day. These people had to take off work.
Okay.
And this is the first time in 40 years I've seen that many of our fathers out there with their children.
So it had been a change then.
It's a change. And I believe North Chicago is picking up. Even our average is picking up now. GPA students is picking up.
Okay.
And they are familiar with technology, and they do their work on the Chromebooks. Mm-hmm. Every student has a Chromebook.
Okay.
And they do their assignments. All they have to do is come in and key in the code and start on their work. Some is ahead, some finish before the other one. That one can take a little leisure time or either read a book. But otherwise, I think we are trying to find our way back.
So we do have more male and female role models, you would say then?
Now, this year, this is the first year in a long time I've seen that many fathers visit the class with their student.
Well, this is going to make a big difference in this year. This is the first year, and if it continues, we will have a better school. Fantastic. We have a group called Reading Power. Tell us about the importance of reading.
I think reading is your ticket to everywhere.
Okay.
If you cannot read, decode words, get your antonyms, your synonyms, your homonyms, get them all together, and your parts of speech. You know, we have troublesome verbs. Sometimes I chew them off with my southern accent.
Okay.
Now, you have to learn when a word is an adjective. Okay, you take the word THIS.
Okay.
That's a pronoun, right?
Okay.
It's a demonstrative pronoun. It points out. It demonstrates. Okay, if I say this book, it's an adjective because it's modifying the noun book. So if we school our kids on the difference in the use of the parts of speech, oh my goodness, you will see a great change. That's increasing their knowledge how to, and not have a whole bunch of paragraph in one sentence, but learn how to combine sentences.
Okay.
You know, get that sentence combining in there. That's a powerful way to read.
One important thing, and that's the reason college graduates are sought after because you have to be able to read and make book reports.
That's right.
To really encourage you to read books. And that's such important. So you have to be able to, it starts with the first through the 12th grades, you know, if you're going on to college. Now, do they have book reports in high school too, though? You have to read books?
Yes. In history classes and English classes, the only, and they have American history.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's the only history we have now, American history.
Well, what about African American history?
Oh, no, it's been out of all schools. I don't know a school in Lake County that's teaching.
Because isn't that significant?
Very important. But it's left to the parents. If they sit down and don't encourage the board members to get on it and hire people that's qualified to teach it.
Yeah.
God, if they would start that back up, I think I would go back full time.
Okay. The last full-time person was Reverend, was it James Dorsey? I think he teach African-American history in high
Oh,
school?
yes, right.
And also he taught at College of Lake County
College of Lake County, right.
The importance of African-American history.
But after didn't he pass away?
Yes.
After he passed away,
Then that was
it.
Yeah.
Now, I took one course, Black History course at CLC, but I took it downtown.
Yeah,
And I was up to date on my history. So the teacher would say, Miss Peel, you go and teach the class for me. I'm at the College of Lake County. You tell them. And it was kind of, and that was when? 7 or 8 years ago? No more.
No more in College of Lake County.
I can't find it in the catalog any place. Can you?
No, it's really I mentioned it there, but I think the state took a stand, and it's because of the Jewish people stated that no more, and they got the state. I think they got the state to require that the Holocaust be taught in the schools. The Holocaust is taught. It's a requirement to teach.
It is.
But why not African American? And when I have a book called 1,001 Black Inventions, that's just a supplement that I have, and that I pass out.
You have a book called 1,001 Black Inventions?
Yes.
Oh.
If you would like to have one, I'll duplicate a copy for you. Yeah,
thank you.
1,001. And you could imagine the filament of the light was invented by Black, and whatever the first heart operation, Nathaniel Hale in Chicago performed the first operation, and you could just name everything we deal with was invented by Black.
That's
and,
true.
African American, I guess, I wish I could name, but I could spend a whole program.
But see, our students will miss all of that because it's not being taught.
Some simple, like the first president of the United States. We know him as George Washington, right? Now, he was the first president under the, what we call the ratified Constitution on 1787. But before the ratification of the Constitution, we had, and I don't mean give you a lesson in Black history though, but but we had and whoever watching the program now can search John Hanson, Hanson, and before this program ends, they will pull it up and find out that he just happened to be Black, but he was the first president under what we call the Articles of Confederation. That's what this country was governed by before the Constitution was ratified.
Hanson was Black.
John Hanson. Oh, you heard the name. John Hanson was Black.
Yes, but I thought he was white.
Okay, that's what you were led to believe. But he's also on a $2 bill too. I have a $2 bill in my pocket. I carry it with me all the time. He's on a $2 bill. Yeah, he was. And see, that's the reason it's so important to. And we had talked about, and I just mentioned this, and I go on. There have been 5 Negro presidents of the United States because of the mixture, the bloods. You know what I mean? Abraham Lincoln had a Black father, Abraham Lincoln, but Nancy Hanks couldn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Warren Harding had a Black father.
Really?
Andrew Jackson, from I think South Carolina, Black father. Thomas Jefferson had a mulatto father. So all these things, and Dwight Eisenhower had a colored grandmother. So I just leave this alone right now. But if you go to, you got your computer, just type it in, and you see that Abraham Lincoln will pop up as had a Black father. This type of thing.
The students asked me a question about Abraham Lincoln, and they said, Miss Peel, put a penny down. So I put the penny down, and all the rest of the quarters, dime, 50 cent, and all of that. And they said, now why Abe Lincoln look in the opposite direction,
Okay.
and all the other people look in the same direction? I couldn't answer that.
Yep, there's a reason for that, I guess. But tell us that. Let's talk about the media now. We're in the media now, and what's the role of the media in projecting positive images of people? And that's a negative there about Abraham Lincoln facing the opposite direction. The media, why don't they project positive images of black people? That's a loaded question, isn't it?
Oh, that's heavy.
No.
That's heavy.
But
I mean, they have to report what the strip that have been journalized for them. But I don't know.
But actually, they just don't want to project. Now, somebody like Bill Cosby, they got that all over. A negative, about him, which may or may not be true. But they really post that all over. But
everything a black man does.
What about Nat King Cole? Nat King Cole couldn't get sponsors for his TV show. He had to drop it. He had a show. This type of thing. So, well, what about Marchall Peel 10 years from now? What do you plan to be doing? Now you plan to write another book?
Oh yes, I started on this book, and after I had a few challenges, I just threw it down, and now I'm picking it back up. Because I just can't sit around and weep and moan, because that's not getting me anywhere.
Okay.
And now I'm seeking happiness again.
Okay.
So I sent the title in to the publisher, Author House.
Okay.
And I started, and the title is, If the White Man Said It, Us Colored Folks Did It.
That's the title.
And I started laying out some stuff that people wouldn't believe. A lot of African Americans and blacks. I mean, it would blow their mind. And before it fully get out, I'm going to be headed out, because this going to hit hard.
But did you have any problems publishing this book?
No, I was shocked I got published. I was really shocked. I sat down and I taught myself. I didn't take a class on how to write a book.
Okay.
I just sat down, I looked at another book, I said,
Okay.
And I had taught the kids how to select theses that would draw interest to people.
Right.
And as I was teaching them, I started writing them down myself.
Okay.
And I sent the poetry in, and they sent it back twice, because I had made quite a few mistakes. Typos and stuff, misspelled words.
Okay.
And after I corrected it well enough to get through, they told me that I like your literature. It is beautiful.
Wow.
And told me to hurry up and finish the other one.
Was this a dream of yours?
This was a dream. I always dreamed when I was a small child is to become a public school teacher, a high school teacher. My license is 6 through 12. I'm really high school.
Okay.
And an author. But when I wanted to write poetry, I couldn't get it through in high school.
Okay.
Because I went to what you call a colored-only school.
Okay.
And I couldn't become a writer because I didn't have any money to do anything.
Okay.
Didn't hardly have the paper to write it on.
Okay.
So I gave it up until I came to Lake County. And I started writing here and there. And I would read them in class when I was taking this, enrolled in that master's program at Carthage.
Yeah.
Everybody was interested in my reading. And I was the only black student in the class.
Only one.
And they're black, and they said, I can't understand these people in Wisconsin taking on over you. They would, you know, have me to say a poem in class. Let Peel give us an eye opener.
Oh.
And so I got an A just from the students, not because I scored so high on the test, but the students praised me up.
This was a learning experience for them.
And they were sitting up there, you know, with the mouth open and everything. Tell us some more. Tell us some more. Okay. Read some more poetry. I decided I would put it in a book.
That's one of the main reasons that more of the African American history should be required in all the schools. I was the first black to graduate from my high school, East St. Louis. When the schools became integrated, well, the secret of that just happened to be the only second semester senior. That's how I got to be, you know, and I got a scholarship from the school, and the rest is history, you know, and that's been 65 years ago.
So you're a little younger than me, huh?
65 years ago, you know. Well, I want to thank, you know what, now we have, we train kids for school, for good jobs, you know, employment. But it's more than local employment. We live in a global employment society, right?
Yes.
It's global now. So you're competing against, you know, people all over the world.
Right.
For jobs, you know. And so that's another thing we have to teach the young, the reason they have to excel in the high school, because they're competing. It's a different type of deal since when we went to school, right?
It is. It is.
You know, the College of Lake County, it would be the next step from high school. Do you have a great percentage of students going to College of Lake County?
Yes, quite a few.
Okay. As a matter of fact, they go before because they have a technology program out there for the cosmetology
and technology. You're right.
And so forth, you know, and so that's a great. Bilingual education is a big thing now. But tell us about your school. Most of the kids are black and Hispanics at North Chicago High School?
Yes, I think about 65% Hispanics.
65%?
So the bilingual program is an A program.
Okay.
Because you have English on one side, Spanish on the other side of the textbooks.
Oh, really? That's the way it is. Well, that's a learning experience for myself and the audience there. That's where the textbooks are written. English on one side and Spanish on the other side.
And you have more students, but you have smaller classes with the bilingual to make sure they get a thorough knowledge of English.
Okay.
See, most of them are Spanish speaking anyway, but in order to get a thorough knowledge how to contrast the English and everything.
Okay. Well, your lifestyle has changed since you lost your husband, right? And how are you coping?
Well, it's been difficult because when I came here, I hadn't gotten my degree. So he said, "A pretty woman like you, I'll buy it for you." So
is that right? Oh my, okay.
I said, "I bet you already got a family." He said, "Well, I'm not gonna elaborate on that, but you're gonna be my wife forever." And I said, "In the world, I know that's not so." And really, I was his wife till he left here. He has other children,
Okay.
but my 3 are his.
Okay, okay.
We had 3.
So what did he tell you? Did you hurt yourself when you fell from heaven?
I say, you mean this man gonna give me money to finish school?
Uh-huh.
And I was almost scared to take it because I didn't know him.
That's right. That's
He
right.
said, you don't have to work. I'll give you the money. I work at International Harvester. I ain't getting money. So he gave me the money to go back to school. He said, and I'll buy you some clothes. You're going to come back. I said, I promise you, if you send for me, I'll come back. So he sent for me after I graduated and got my degree.
Yes.
And I came back, and we got married in a few days.
Is that right?
It was love at first sight, and it lasted a lifetime.
Yes. Well, this has been a lovely experience here on Community Forum, having you tell your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Marchall Peel, and she's a retired teacher. As a matter of fact, 45 years in North Chicago, Waukegan Ensign, and now she's substituting at North Chicago High School. So education is just in her blood. And they're very fortunate to have you over there at the high school.
Thank you.
So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.